Welcome to Petrohead's Simracing Widowmaker Series Round 3 at Road America, here in the hills of Wisconsin, just outside of Elkhart Lake. I'm Adam Stewart, your host for today. And if you're enjoying racing and this series, please be sure to leave a like on the video. Subscribe and hit that bell if you want to see some more. And if you have any comments, good or bad, be sure to leave them below. I would love to hear what you all are thinking of the racing so far. And do you have a favorite driver? And who do you think will win this little mini championship? We got a good one for you today, folks. This 6.5 kilometer track with its 14 unique turns features multiple elevation changes and a front stretch long enough for these cars to reach speeds up to 265 kilometers an hour. And high speeds means high chances of losing control of the car. So far, there's not been a driver able to keep this car tamed and under them. You can't keep trouble from visiting, but you don't have to offer a seat in the car with you. Road America has been hosting races since 1955 and currently hosts more than 400 events a year, hosting series such as IndyCar, NASCAR, and IMSA, as well as other smaller series like SCCA. It's also one of only a handful of tracks in the world that has never changed its original configuration. Here you can see the 14 turns that make up the track. There are plenty of passing opportunities. T1, T3, T5, T8, and T12 all present great opportunities. One of the most interesting parts of this track is the kink, where the drivers will be forced to lift off the throttle and maybe downshift to keep the car stable. From its lowest to its highest point on the track, it's 32 meters of elevation change, in which 17 meters is actually located on the front stretch between turn 14 and the start-finish line. I want to take a moment and say sorry for all the racers whose names I've been butchering. I appreciate you all reaching out and helping me to correct this. Let's take a ride around the track with Henrik Andreasen and just see firsthand what the drivers will be facing. As it crosses the start-finish line, take note of the speed he is carrying going into T1, 266 kilometers an hour. Is going through T14, and you can see that 17-meter climb up ahead. As he finishes up that lap, you can see that it was not easy to keep that car under control. And with that, qualifying has finished, and Henrik Andreasen has grabbed the pole with a time of 2:19.903. Not a bad lap. Outside of pole, we find Andy Darnell. Row 2, we find Mario Gaspar and John Spriggs. Row 3, Timo Konecny and Christian Kubovic. Row 4, Matty Renault and John Janchik. And in row 5, Andreas Sieg and Andreas Ebert. If you're interested in joining Petrohead Sim Racing and participating in some of these races, the link to our Discord is in the description below. So grab some snacks and drink and get comfortable, as we are just waiting for a few more drivers to get through tech inspection, hit the grid, and this race will be underway. We have a few that were late to join the server. That includes Andy Foster, Thomas Ribeiro, Marco Troccola, and Adam Stewart. And because they didn't qualify, they will be starting from the back of the field. And we are all getting gridded up now. Engines are starting to rev, getting closer to the flag being flown. Green, 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 we are off and running. And you can see that Andreas did not get a good start, neither did John Spriggs. John Spriggs dropped back 7 positions on the start right away. That's going to be hard to get back. Mario Gaspar looking on the inside of Timo. Oh, Thomas Ribeiro just went around. Let's take a look at that and see what happened. It's early in the race, so the tires are probably still cold. Coming down in here into turn 5. Gets on the curb, and the car just loses its grip. The Widowmaker at work. Back up front as we watch Andy Darnell going through the carousel. This is that area he's coming into now that's called the kink. Also, it's turn 11. And you see Christian spinning in the background. Christian spins it in the middle of the track. Let's take a look. He's coming through the carousel here. Everything looks normal. You can see right there, he got a little bit, and there it goes. Snap, snap. Another engine slapper. But he saved it, didn't hit a wall. That's victim number 1 of the kink. Looks like he dropped back to 7th position. Oh, he just dropped all the way to 11th. It's a long ways, down to 12th. And around goes Marco into the wall. That ruins that engine. You can see here as we're coming into this replay, he has backed it in. Once that happens, that engine is gone. There's no saving that. Timo showing us a little drifting action coming out of turn 14 before he headed up the hill. John Janchik chasing down John Spriggs. It's the John and John show. I'm impressed in one lap. John went from 4th starting position all the way back to 11th or 12th, I believe, and then turned it around and right back to 6th. Thomas on his recovery drive after spinning it on lap 1. Coming down the moraine sweep into turn 5 here. Oh no, Andreas got sideways. Oh, Thomas almost hit him. Looks like he locked his brakes and had a hard time holding that in position. And he's back on the road again. Timo is our current points leader. In round 1, he finished second both races. In round 2, he had a first and a third position for his finishing positions. Here we find him in third again. And it's amazing. 3 rounds, 4 races done already, and we find Andy Darnell and Timo Konecny nose to tail again. And we know catching Andy's one thing, passing him is another. They seem to be holding serve there at about 1 second. He'll catch him up in some turns and then lose it in the next one. You can see that Thomas Ribeiro is now our biggest mover with 4 positions gained. Around goes Mario Gaspar. Let's see what happened in this. He's coming down into the kink, and there it goes, snapping. Another engine slapper for you. Victim number 2. So I asked Timo recently about the tire situation, if he thinks the tires overheat and slowing down, and does that help cool them off? And he says he thinks the tires never wear out because they're made out of plastic. Timo is right on the bumper now of Andy Darnell. He's going to try to use the draft to his advantage here. Andy's not too worried about it. He's not shaving over to block the inside line. And there it is. Timo down to the inside. Oh, a little late on the brake there. He's holding it, and he's going to do the over-under. Cut back on him as they head down into turn 3, and he's got the inside. They're still side by side. What respectful racers didn't touch each other, left plenty of space both on the in and outside. Coming down the moraine sweep into turn 5. Andy late on the brakes. He's holding it though. Oh, nice job. Another respectful turn. Coming through turn 6. That sounded like Timo missed a shift. He is dropping back. I think Timo missed a shift right there. John Spriggs back to 5th. He's only one position from his starting position now. He's making that comeback as best he can. See there that Thomas Ribeiro is 2 more to his credit. You know, he's up 6 positions from his starting position. Definitely our biggest mover of the day. When all that was going on, you can see here, I was just talking about him, commentator's curse. Thomas Ribeiro goes around again. That kink got its 3rd victim of the day. The front end of Mario's car is dragging. We've seen this before. Car front end, the front right is dragging. He's going to have a hard time making left turns. Let's see how John takes advantage of that. See the sparks popping out. Right now, John knows Mario's having trouble. Spriggs is trying to catch up to Renault. It just seems to be stuck right there in his draft, but just can't get there. And around goes John Janchik, victim number 4. Another victim of the kink. Sounds like it should be a song. Oop. John had a run there. Here he comes. Yep, he's just going to blow right by Matty Renault. Matty might have missed a gear there because it's definitely, that's a long ways to lose in one little straight. Not little, it's a long straight. And Henrik has gone off. Here comes Andy Darnell. Teammates, Andy's not going to risk wrecking the both of them. Their team is leading the championship as a team championship. Here we can see what happened to Hendrick as he was going into turn number 7. Just looped it all by himself. Now, Thomas did not get any practice. So he came into the series really late, round 3. It's his first race. Barely had time to do some qualifying. He's trying to learn the car. Figure out what it can and can't do. Normally, he's one of your front runners. John going totally defensive here. And John jumps to the outside and starts to lock his brakes. The car's out of control. John tried to make him move to keep Thomas behind him, and it just cost him the whole position. Once that car starts to slide, it's hard to save. Just under 5 minutes left. Still got the same front 3. Henrik, Andy, and Timo. John Spriggs did make it back to the 4th position, which was where he started. The only one missing from the top positions up there would be Christian Kubovic. Christian is going to be making a move on Andreas. Looking for a way around. Go one around the outside of him. Nice job. Thomas goes around again. The kink has got him twice. And that is victim number 5. He's probably kicking himself for not having time to practice more. Timo drives for Gentlemen Drivers Club. Sounds like a strip club. Timo and John back at it again. John going defensive again, saying, I'm going to take the inside. Thomas, if you want it, you got to go around the outside. Thomas trying to undercut him there. Did not work. Both of these drivers have struggled with this Widowmaker today. Kink has got them both at one point. Oh, and Matty Renault, the kink again. Victim number 6. No harm, no foul. Matty didn't take too much damage. He got a little bit there. And around Christian Kubovic goes around Andy Foster, who must have spun there because he was off track. You can definitely tell this car is dragging. You see the sparks popping out from underneath it. Anytime he's making a left-hand turn, that thing is dragging the ground. John and Timo going at it. This race is just about over. I'm sure they're getting anxious to be done with it. Timo drifting just a little bit through that corner. John going to come back down the inside of Timo. They're heading into T1. They're calling this a little bit of a turn here, turn 2. It's not much, but this is turn 3 here. They are on the last lap now. This is it, Mario. You either get by him or you're going to be finishing in 6th. Not a bad run after that big wreck. You ended up being 2 positions back from where you were. He's going to make a run at Mario right here going into the Canada corner. Just doesn't have the air quality he'd like with the front end being messed up. We'll come back here and take a look at this close race here with Andy Foster and Andreas Ebert. And around goes Mario. I'm sure he was trying to do a last turn ditch effort there. These guys are way over going into turn 7 and down the hurry down straight towards turn 8. Oh, I apologize, they're actually in the carousel. Here comes the kink. Will it get one more victim today? And it did. Commentator's curse. Andy Foster took one for the team. Thank you, Andy. Victim number 7. And Andreas has probably got a little breath of refreshing air right now. As he's saying, I'm no longer behind somebody, breathing all that exhaust. He's doing the traditional weaving, flashing of the lights as he's crossing the start-finish line. Top 10, Mr. Ebert. Nice job. And here we have the finish of race 1 with Hendrik Andreasen in first position. Andy Darnell, position 2. Konecki, followed by Spriggs, Renault, Gaspar, Ribera, Jančík, Kubovic, Ebert, Foster, Stewart, Trukala, and Seed. Well, thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate you sticking around. If you like what you saw, hit that like button. And and we'll see you on the next race. Stay cool like the other side of the pillow.